Capitol Hill police, in some cases, escorted protesters through the Capitol as if they were giving a tour. They did that with Jacob Chansley, the so-called QAnon shaman.
Logistical response.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is Logistical Response, a channel focused on politics, politicians, the stuff they do, the stuff they say, the lies they tell, and the stuff they just do over and over and over again that just makes it look like they are completely full of shit. Now, what we got coming up is not your normal video. Now, a few weeks back, Kevin McCarthy came out and stated that he was taking all of the security footage from January 6, 2020 and handing it over to Tucker Carlson. Now, I have been waiting for this to come out, been waiting and waiting and waiting for it to come out ever since. 2 nights ago, it finally comes out. And it pretty much showed what a lot of people had been believing.
Last night, we aired video from surveillance cameras on Capitol Hill. That video was recorded 26 months to the day before, January 6, 2021. And for 26 months, that footage was held from the American public. The January 6 committee made certain. Now, the Justice Department also kept a lid on that video footage. And in fact, in some cases, DOJ did not share it with criminal defendants who'd been charged on January 6th in violation of their constitutional rights. So we felt it was a public service to bring what we could to you. There was no justification for keeping this secret any longer, and a powerful argument to be made that sunlight is always and everywhere the best disinfectant. So the tape we showed last night indicated very clearly that Capitol Hill police, in some cases, escorted protesters through the Capitol as if they were giving a tour. They did that with Jacob Chansley, the so-called QAnon shaman. At one point, they even tried to open locked doors on Chansley's behalf. Chansley was sentenced to 4 years in prison for his crimes in the Capitol on January 6th. And the video we showed you last night raises the obvious question, why? On what grounds? The video I showed you last night also showed that Officer Brian Sicknick was not beaten to death with a fire extinguisher by protesters on January 6th, as the media and Liz Cheney so often claimed. The video shows Sicknick walking around the building, apparently in good health, after he was supposedly killed. We showed you that video. You can make of it what you will. We also showed you video that proves Ray Epps, the mysterious protester who encouraged others to breach the Capitol, lied to the January 6th committee about where he was on that day. But for some reason, the committee protected him anyway. He was not considered an insurrectionist. He was their ally. So once again, you can draw whatever conclusions you like from that video. We have ours and we shared them with you. But it's really beyond debate that it is good for this country for Americans to be able to see it.
And he is totally correct about that. There should be no reason why we can't see this, because it proves that, yes, there was a riot going on. There was people that breached the Capitol, right? But there was also a non-violent part to that. That QAnon shaman guy, whatever they call him, they were escorting this guy around. If he was such a criminal and doing what they said, he got 4 years in prison, right? Why were they just walking around with this dude? That makes no sense. That whole thing about Brian Sicknick, that really pisses me off, because the January 6th committee stated several times that he was beaten over the head with a fire extinguisher, like he said in the video. They lied. But then, surprisingly, the very next day, which was yesterday, a couple of politicians came out and said this.
With regard to the presentation on Fox News last night, I want to associate myself entirely with the opinion of the chief of the Capitol Police about what happened on January 6th. Clearly, the chief of the Capitol Police, in my view, correctly describes what most of us witnessed firsthand on January 6th. So that's my reaction to it. It was a mistake, in my view, for Fox News to depict this in a way that's completely at variance with what our chief law enforcement official here at the Capitol thinks.
Now that guy, in case you didn't know, that's Mitch McConnell. He is the minority leader in the Senate. He is a Republican. He knows damn good and well Kevin McCarthy, the majority leader in the House, gave Tucker Carlson all of that footage. He's pissed off about it because he knows they got caught in lies. Tucker Carlson never disputed the facts, the stuff that we all saw. Sure, there was some violence, but there's a whole lot more to the story when you look at it. You got to see the whole story, and that's the part that's aggravating about this, because they're not showing the whole story. They're just showing the parts that they want to show you for their own personal gains. And then we had this guy come out.
Last night, millions of Americans tuned in to one of the most shameful hours we have ever seen on cable television. Fox News host Tucker Carlson ran a lengthy segment last night arguing the January 6th Capitol attack was not a violent insurrection. I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. I don't think I've ever seen an anchor treat the American people and American democracy with such disdain.
Okay, now, that guy just lied. Like I said before, Tucker Carlson never disputed any of the facts that we all know, that we all have been knowing about for the past 2 years. Never said anything about that. He's lying. He's a Democrat, so of course he's lying. He's a politician, so of course he's lying. That's what politicians do. And that's what we need to root out of our government. Whoever votes for this guy, if you see this video, please stop voting for this piece of crap. We need to get these establishment career politicians out of office immediately. They are destroying our country. These bureaucrats that are put in place by people like Joe Biden are destroying our country. They're making it hard for farmers to do their job. They're making it hard for a lot of companies to do their jobs. And doing stuff like this only pits Americans against Americans, because we have people out there that will watch NBC and MSNBC, these propaganda outlets of the Democratic Party, and just believe it and just go with it. They don't look into the facts at all. And that's why this is so terrible. Why these politicians lying like this is hurting the country. And we need to stop it. We really, really need to stop it. We need to open our eyes and see what is going on around us. This is just crazy. But it was no surprise that he does this next.
He's going to come back tonight with another segment. Fox News should tell him not to. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, tell Carlson not to run a second segment of lies. I urge Fox News to order Carlson to cease propagating the big lie on his network, and to level with their viewers about the truth behind the efforts to mislead the public. Conduct like theirs is just asking for another January 6th.
That's right. We have a United States Senator calling for censorship. Openly in the Senate, calling for censorship. Completely ignoring the First Amendment. All Tucker Carlson is doing is showing the footage and giving his opinion on it. Which his opinion isn't that far off base. Sure, he can be a little bit snarky. And sure, he can exaggerate things sometimes. But we can all see the footage. We can all see what's going on. And we can all see that the Democrats lied through their teeth about January 6th. If you look into it a little bit, you'll find out Nancy Pelosi was in charge of the Capitol Police at the time. Just like right now, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is in charge of the Capitol Police. And it is clear from that footage that those police officers were completely unprepared for what happened. The government knew that there was going to be a lot of people there. There was going to be thousands of people there. They knew that. Why did they leave their police officers unprepared for that? Why did they not allow Trump to call in the National Guard? Yeah, that's something they conveniently left out, that Trump wanted the National Guard there. We went over this in another video months ago. Another senator was asking about it, but yeah, Trump wanted the National Guard there. That would have completely prevented anybody from going into the Capitol. But that would have been only on one side. The other side, these other people that were just let into the building, there was nothing that could have been done about that, because the Capitol Police let them in there and were walking around with them. So January 6th is not what they've been telling you it has been. And that's clear from this. And the reason they're wanting to censor it is because they're wanting to cover up their lies. It's not a surprise to me. I'm just trying to get this information out there that there's nothing wrong with seeing all that footage. Okay? You may not agree with Tucker Carlson's assessment of it. You may not agree with my assessment of it. Personally, I think the biggest thing is these politicians coming out and condemning it. But what really got me is these politicians. I wasn't even going to talk about this. But when these politicians come out and call for censorship, calling him a liar and all this and other shit, that's where I'll draw the line. Okay, that's what this channel is focused on, pointing out politicians and when they do something that they should not be doing, and this is exactly it. A politician is supposed to uphold the Constitution. They're not supposed to abolish it and call for censorship. They're obviously covering up for themselves, and it's a damn shame, and we need to spread the word about this because, once again, like I said earlier, this is tearing up our country. And I happen to love our country. All aspects of it. It's these politicians who are only looking out for themselves that we need to get out of there. We have the power to do it. We need to exercise that power. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Hit the like it if you like freedom. If you like the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, all the amendments. Hit that like button. And be positive. Peace.